What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hanson, and today what I want to help teach you guys is to how to get good screenshots in Ground Branch. There's a couple of methods you can use, and one is specific to having an Nvidia graphics card. We'll talk about that one too, but first we're going to talk about the one that anybody and everybody can use. But if you've got an Nvidia card and you want to skip past some of the basics, I'll have a timestamp down below showing you where you can skip to. Nevertheless, let's get into it. Alright, so a couple of things to know out rip. Not all maps are created equal based on the type of lighting that you want. Also, not all times of day are created equal, obviously. But a map that I know does really good at nighttime is Rig. So I'm going to go ahead and select Rig. I'm going to set it for midnight. I'm going to set the experience to untrained. And I'm going to set it to 1 resistance. Reason being, let's say I'm playing on terrorist hunt and trying to get pictures. I don't care about the enemies, but I set it to 1, and then I kill that 1 because he walks up on me while I'm trying to get pictures. Then it ends the mission. But if I do intel retrieval, even if that guy walks up on me and I drop him, I can easily continue because I haven't completed the mission, per the, mission type, right? That's why I use intel retrieval with 1 expected resistance and untrained. That way I'm not having to kill myself trying to kill the guy and I'm not getting, 360 no-scoped. So, anyway, that's the basic settings. So go ahead and hit play. I do apologize for the nasally sound of myself. I'm still struggling with getting over COVID and all that good stuff. So, apologies. Anyway, moving on into the actual, layout in the ready room. Still where it untrained, it doesn't matter how many search locations you have. You could even set it to none because we don't care about that. Enemy resistance 1, prox alert, up to you. Time limit, go ahead and max that out. That way you've got enough time. You can always back out if you're done, but, you can't extend it if you reach your limit. Insertion time does matter. I'm going to set it for midnight because I know the lighting on this map. Now, another little weird thing, a weird level of detail that Ground Branch lets you have, and that is the night lighting, okay? And that's done through the moon. Right? If you want purely directional light from sources on the map, like you want the lights to shine on your guy, keep cycling this until you get a new moon. That way you're not dealing with any, foreign light source. Now, sometimes it's good to have that light because you're doing like a nighttime picture, and then you want to go for a full moon, right? So depending on what you want there, depending on the lighting you kind of want, then we're going to go ahead and hit apply, and we're going to jump in. Doesn't really matter where. And then we are in the mission, and obviously too dark down here, so let's get somewhere where we've got some light. Sometimes if I'm playing and I really just want to be able to focus on it, and it's a smaller map other than Rig, I'll hunt that guy down, drop him. That way I don't have to worry about him walking up on me. I don't have to think about it. I can just, make the video. So now we're going to start thinking about our light source. Now, I talked with a guy on Discord. His name is Hamstrings on Discord, who got really good screenshots, like way better than I could do. He did fantastic. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, man, how are you doing it? And he mentioned this. He said, what you need, let's shoot out this light. Shoot out this light. Shoot out that light. Take out that light. And that light. We'll leave the green lights. Okay. So what he mentioned was you need to have a single point of directional light and be on the edge of that. Because, for example, if I'm right here, right? And now I'm going to have to jump into the console commands and how to get into your stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the squiggly line. I don't know what it's called. It's how you open console commands in games. It's like, it's that key right there. That's the one you're looking for. It's right next to your number line. And this guy keeps roaming around. He's going to end up jumping up on me out of nowhere and ruining everything. Just like I said. Okay. So we're here, right? We're going to hit that button that we just talked about. And we're going to hit toggle, debug, camera. We're going to type that out and hit enter. You'll see the vision kind of changes. And then you can use your directional keys to kind of move around. But as you can see right now, because I'm so close to that light source, it is really whitewashing that area. Now, if you've got an Nvidia card, there's some stuff we can do later to kind of help that. But if you don't have an Nvidia card and you're going based off of just the game stuff, then you have to make sure you've got this as good as possible. So we're going to hit that. We're going to hit toggle, debug, camera to get back into our body. We're going to run out to the edge here, get into a slightly better lighting. Toggle, debug camera. Gotta type it right. And then we're back in. And you can see now already, I need to turn my laser off, but you can see that light source is far better, right? It's not so harsh. You can also speed yourself up in this by scrolling up and down the scroll wheel. You see how I'm kind of changing speed? That's me scrolling the wheel up and down. Now is when you kind of start to get limited when it comes to not having an Nvidia card, unfortunately. So what we could do is hit there. Oh, I need to turn my laser off. That's what I was doing. Because now we're having to work with kind of a limited, like, focus range, focus depth. And it's just going to kind of get odd. But now we can kind of work with it. You know, you can get pretty good thumbnails this way. I did for a long time. I got decent thumbnails by doing just this method and just finding stuff that worked, right? You know, getting off center here, finding good lines. I've actually got one really good one where I've got the focus light like behind the guy. I'll flash that one up right here. That was one of my more favorite thumbnails I ever got from Ground Branch. Now, that was with some use of the Nvidia card stuff we're going to talk about in a second, but, you know, you could get really, really, really good stuff with just the console command. Now, another tool that you can use in Ground Branch is kind of its built-in debug cameras. So if you hit escape, up in the top right here, we have debug. And then over on this side, you're going to see a drop-down menu for first person, over the shoulder, third person fixed, third person free, fixed, and fixed follow. So this is actually another good tool. What I've done sometimes is let's do fixed follow. Back out. So now I can actually get some action shots, right? Now, not very controlled, but now I can use a non-Nvidia card to get some action shots here, right? What I would do here is I would record in OBS me playing and then just pick out screen grabs of what I want from that recording. I can do walks where I'm shooting. You know, you can get some decent shots this way. But yeah, fixed follow does that. We'll kind of run through them. Over the shoulder gives you a pretty easy shot here. I've gotten several this way. You can even screen grab and get a bullet flying. Doing a screen grab, walking up to a guy, and doing full auto, getting all those bullets flying, really good shots. You can do third person fixed, where he'll kind of just follow the guy. Now, I wouldn't recommend trying to play in this mode. It looks amazing. I've tried to make videos where I'm like walking around and like running in this mode, kind of like a Ghost Recon Breakpoint kind of deal. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I really wish it would, but it does not work. I wish I could see my laser, but your head typically blocks it unless you start doing leaning and stuff. You got third person free, and with this one you won't be able to turn your character, but you can walk and it'll stay in this angle, so you can do that kind of stuff. We've got fixed, where you can control your guy again, but the camera will stay in that position indefinitely. And we've already shown you fixed follow, but we can get back in first person. So something you can do, let me get back in my light, is you can find a position. You can even crouch and kind of look up. See how this goes. We're going to do fixed. And we can kind of start to get some stuff. Again, when you don't have an Nvidia card, you're going to have to kind of fight your way into getting some of these good shots, unfortunately. But it is still totally doable. If you got any questions about how to do it, if you got any questions about like color correction down the line, I'm going to link down below a free web like photo editor that I use for everything. But it's called Pixlr. It's fantastic. I use it even for the Nvidia shots that I get. I'll edit with it. All that being said and done, kind of the basics out of the way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the tool from Nvidia that will help you get even better shots. Let's go. All right, so that tool that I am talking about is Nvidia Ansel, and it is this right here. So what this does is, with certain games, you are able to enter a photo editor that is independent of the game. Crazy awesome tool. It pauses the game so you can get these shots. You can get action shots. It's absolutely amazing. You know, I got an Nvidia card so I could do video recording better, so I could do streaming and recording better, but Nvidia Ansel is far and far one of the most used features on my computer. So when you get to this page, just do download. Go through the process. I'm not going to take you guys through it because I don't want to remove the folder that I have where my stuff is going, but go ahead and go through the process of getting all this set up. It's pretty self-explanatory. I've got to this point, but I'm not going to go any further because that'll start removing stuff I've already got on here. I apologize. But yeah, run through it. Totally worth it. I'll have a link down below to Nvidia Ansel. I don't remember the default keybind. I believe it's what I still have it to, but it's Alt F2. And that immediately puts you into it. Now, you're going to notice something here. And that's that with Nvidia Ansel, you do not have a head. Totally easily fixable, okay? So let's do Alt F2 to back out of Ansel. So when you're using Ansel, you have to start with one of these. The over-the-shoulder, or I usually use over-the-shoulder, third-person fixed follow, one of these. You do that because that spawns in the head, okay? That spawns in your head so that you're not missing it when you jump into Ansel. So now that we're in it, we can kind of find our optimum lighting here. We're going to go with nods to, yeah. And then, here comes the action stuff, right? We can start walking and be hovering over the Alt F2. So I'm going to do W and then Alt F2. And that jumped us in. So you see now we're in this walk animation, right? Totally different, like, opportunities there. I've gotten like full-on sprint shots. I've got, you know, stuff like that, crazy stuff. Hitting Alt F2 while sprinting and shooting kind of leads you into like a weird claw grip on your keyboard, but it's amazing. If you've got a Stream Deck, you can set up an Alt F2 hotkey and just press that button. Like, it really is amazing. Anyway, moving on. If you're an actual photographer kind of guy, you can go over here and hit like grid, and you can actually, you know, line up the eyes on the shot and all that stuff, but I'm not that involved in it, so I'm not going to do that. You can hit drop down on camera, and then what we can do is we can increase or decrease the field of view. Now, for most of my shots, I'm always decreasing the field of view to 10%, or 10 degrees, sorry. That's as low as you can get it. And then we're going to start moving around. And the way you move around is you actually click the screen, and then WASD your way around. So we can actually find our angle here, find what we like. That's not too terrible. Let's see. You can also do roll, and this obviously rolls the image. We're not going to add too much of that. Maybe a smidgen, like that. I'm not too bad with that. And then we could do game engine, and we can hit high quality. And what this does is it makes the blacks a little bit blacker. Which I prefer, because you can see the difference there. Let's turn it back off. You see that background, that like yellow back here? When I hit it, for you guys, because of the rendering, it actually goes pretty much pitch black, which looks amazing. You can also increase or decrease the bloom intensity, which is like how much the light is reflecting off of stuff. Now, I typically like that to 0, but, you know, that's kind of up to you. Bloom scale isn't going to do anything unless you've got, you know, your bloom on, so it doesn't matter. But then we can get down into filters, and filters are pretty crazy. You've got auto depth of field, which, to be honest, doesn't do much, and even up here it says not available in this application or scene. So, really cool tool in other games, but I don't use it here. You've got black and white, which will automatically turn it to black and white. We're going to hit brightness and contrast. And then you can click the arrow for that filter, and you can actually customize it further. You can increase the exposure or decrease it. Let's see. We can increase or decrease the contrast. We can bump up or down the highlights, which, yeah. And you might see a little bit of, like, graphical movement right here, right? That's going to happen. We can bring up or down the shadows, depending on what you're looking for. Bring up or down the gamma, which will make that area we were talking about brighter or darker. 923 is the only thing visible. So we're going to bring it to, actually 0. 0 looks pretty good. So we're going to leave it there. We can add filters, and we can hit a, let me talk about this for a second. The depth of field in the ground branch application, I don't care for. It doesn't do its deal perfectly. I'm going to show you guys a thing we can do in Pixlr that will make it way better without using the Ansel depth of field. So we're going to minimize that, minimize brightness and contrast. We're going to highlight depth of field and hit the trash can to get rid of it. We can add filter. We can hit details. And this is where you can do like sharpness, clarity. You can make it HDR toning, which just kind of doesn't do too much. And bloom again, another option for bloom. We're going to turn that down though. Now, night mode doesn't do too much. It just kind of puts a nighty kind of filter on it, if that makes any sense, right? And you can like jack it way up to pretty much red or turn it all the way off. And actually, that was kind of looking okay. So we're going to keep that. And then you can press insert. Well, nope, wrong key. You can press insert and get rid of, you know, you can eliminate the little toolbar over on the side. Oh, new subscriber, John Smith. Welcome to the channel. And this is a lot of it, man. A lot of it's just kind of moving around, seeing what you like. It's like even this could look really good if I... Oh, that's pretty dirty right there. Let me pull this so you guys can see that. Oh, no! If you Alt-Tab out of the game, you will lose Ansel. So once we get what we want, and I'm not even sure if this is a finished product. I might keep playing around and kind of find some other stuff. But once we're happy with what we got, we open our toolbar back up and we hit snap. It'll say photographing the scene, and then you're good. It's going to send it to the folder, which you'll be able to pick. So guys, that's how to get better photos in Ground Branch. And not only that, it's my entire creative process up into how I make my thumbnails for my videos. If you enjoyed the video and you did get some value out of it, I would highly recommend subscribing with the notification bell, because we do a lot of tactical games and gameplay and live streams. And once we hit the 3,500 goal, we're going to be doing a community event, and I don't want you to miss that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy your day. Be safe, stay happy, and peace out.